Iris. Let's go. Iris!
The movie starts on a rainy night inside a building. The old man walked downstairs, and there was a continuous knock on the door. When he looked through the door, he saw a young man standing there. After he let him in, the young man demanded to see the lady in the basement, telling the old man how important it was that he had to see her. The old man told him that it was impossible, and that he had to turn him down just like everyone else who came here looking to see her. The young man told him that he needed answers. The old man firmly told him to go home. After the young man left, the guy locked the door, closed the curtains, and started recording a video message.
Lives in the basement. She's tied to the property.
In the video, he talks about how this building comes with a special tenant who lives inside the basement. The special tenant is tied to the house, and whoever signed the title deed to the house is her guardian. She can't be let out of the house. The old man ends the video, saying this all ends with him tonight while spraying gasoline on the floor. And if he had failed, whoever's watching this video is already dead. After recording the video, the light bulb suddenly turns off, and a strange thing stands in front of him and touches his face. He then catches on fire and screams in agony as he's being burned alive. Elsewhere, Iris and her friend Katie are breaking into her old apartment to grab her stuff because her landlord evicted her. Her friend tells her she can stay with her as long as she wants, and as they're leaving, Iris receives an important phone call. She was told that her father died last night and that she's required to identify his body. Iris gets on a plane to go to the hospital to identify his body. When she sees that his body is burned, she leaves in shock. On her way out, a man approaches her. He tells her that he's a lawyer acting on behalf of her dad's estate. She isn't aware of the estate he was mentioning. The lawyer takes her to the house, which was owned by her father. After going inside the house and going through her father's stuff, she wants to stay in the house for a night. Iris talks to Katie about her discovery. Katie insisted on coming, and Katie told her that she already booked the flight and that she would be coming tomorrow. Iris agreed and went to bed. In the middle of the night, as she was sleeping, Iris woke up to the sound of a timer. She goes downstairs to check what it is. There's a strange door to the basement, and sounds are coming out of it. When she gets closer and tries to open it, she's unable to because she doesn't have the keys. But as she turns around, she feels a shadow of a person walking in the other room. When she walks to the other room, she sees a man standing. She quickly grabbed a bottle and told him to stay put. He tells her his name is Neil and that he's not trying to hurt her. He offers her money if she would allow him to talk to the woman in the basement. She has no idea what he's talking about. He just tells her that he needs to see his wife and knows what to do. He also tells her that other people come here too. She informed him that she didn't have the key to the basement now, so he should come back tomorrow. The following day, she meets her father's lawyer and tells him she has no intention of selling the property soon, and that she wants to inherit the house, acquiring the title deed. He's surprised by her decision and hands over the keys to the house, as well as the instructions tape her father left for the new owner. She gets home, and as she's looking at the documents, her friend Katie arrives. She told her about the current situation and her encounter with Neil. For $4,000, she was willing to open the basement to him. She told her that he was just there for the fun of it and nothing serious was out there. They agreed to do it this one time and waited for Neil to show up. Neil finally shows up, and they open the basement. It's very dark. When they're finally inside, they see chairs sitting facing each other. Neil starts to speak to a large hole in the wall, telling it to come out. For a while there was nothing, so Iris and Katie tell him to stop and leave. But then a noise comes out of the hole.
Iris.
A strange creature crawls out of the wall wearing a bag on their face. Katie got scared and asked Iris for them to leave. Neil continues talking to the creature, saying he needs to speak to his wife. The creature said nothing to Neil and walked slowly to Iris. As it was approaching her, Iris, scared, asked it to stay back. Surprisingly, it listens to Iris and stays back. Seeing that the creature obeyed Iris, Neil tells her to command it to sit on the chair. When she does, the creature sits on the chair obediently. Neil sits in front of it and hands it a ring that belonged to his wife. The creature eats it. Neil suddenly remembers that it has to be strapped in the chair for this to work. He tied the hands of the creature to the chair. The creature started growling and transforming into a different body. When Neil takes the bag off the creature's head, he sees someone unexpected from his past. It was his mother that killed herself a long time ago. As they were about to leave the basement, the creature attacks Neil. Iris made it stop using her powers against it, and they left. Neil told them that the ring belonged to his mother before he gave it to his wife, and that might have confused the process. He said that Iris's dad had rules about this. He used a timer, and no one could bring the dead for more than 2 minutes or it would take over. Iris and Katie told Neil not to come back as he handed over the money he promised, but he begged them to reconsider it, promising them a lot of money. He said he only wanted a last chance to say goodbye to his wife so he could move on. After Neil left, they started watching the instructions tape. Her father explained that the person whose name was on the title deed controlled the creature as a guardian, and as long as your name was on the title deed, there was no escape. He also warned that one must not go inside the hole, but as long as they're on their side, she wouldn't be able to harm them. Most importantly, although it might be tempting, they shouldn't use their power to bring back someone who has died, because every time they do that, the creature becomes stronger. After watching the video, Katie decided she had seen enough and that it was time for them to go. Iris convinces Katie to stay a couple of days until they earn enough money. Iris writes on the stairs of the basement that the creature isn't allowed to cross this stair, knowing that it would obey as long as she said so. Iris then went to Neil's house to tell him that she had accepted his offer. While Katie was alone by herself in the building, a picture fell from the wall with the writing on the back. She picked it up and searched for the name that was on the back of the picture on the internet. She discovered that he was a former title deed owner of the property. As for Iris, she is at Neil's place, and Neil is telling her how he found out about the house and what her father does. He said he heard it from someone in grief counseling and wanted to try it so that he could have his final goodbye to his deceased wife. Neil came back to the building and they went to the basement. Iris set a timer saying he had 2 minutes to talk to his wife. When she finally transformed, Neil's wife started speaking to him. She was scared and didn't understand what was going on. He asked her what the last thing she remembered was. She told him she was driving, and suddenly it was blank. He explained to her that they didn't have much time and that she had died because of the accident. He told her that he wanted to know who she was seeing before she died. She told him that she had no idea what he was talking about. By this time, there were only a few seconds left, and Iris warned Neil to stop. His wife told him she was planning on leaving him because she couldn't stand being together with him. After all, he was obsessive and had abandonment issues because of his mother. The creature finally crawled away from him, and Iris saw that it was sitting in the corner, speaking as Neil's wife. She covered its face using a bag and commanded it to obey as she was the guardian. Katie was mad at Neil for tricking them, saying he just wanted a last goodbye when in fact he wanted something else.
You had your chance, now get out.
While Iris was alone drinking, she saw an image of her dad in a reflection of a mirror. She knew it was the creature trying to get in her head, so she told it that she wasn't scared of it. A hand rests on her arm, and suddenly she's in a vision of her father talking to her deceased mother about going to Iris and explaining everything to her. He was sitting on a chair in front of her mother, who he brought back from the dead using the creature.
You look old.
Her mother warned him not to leave because the last time he tried to leave, an accident in which she died happened. So wherever he went, death and bad fortune would follow. She asked him to free her so that all this could end. He knew it was the creature talking to him, so he said he had a better idea. He planned to burn the whole house along with himself, but she didn't let him do that. He got burned instead and died. At night, while Iris was sleeping, she was woken by voices. She tried to figure out what that sound was and noticed that Katie was missing from her bed. She went to the basement and saw her dad there. His face was disfigured and he ripped his face off. Then they got into an attraction and Iris tried to choke it to death, but instead she was choked. She was being choked by the necklace on which she kept the basement's key. Katie arrived at the house and heard Iris, so she quickly came and cut the necklace that was choking her. Katie and Iris went to her father's lawyer's office for answers, but he was nowhere to be found. Katie suggested they leave immediately, but Iris refused to leave without anything and return to her poor life. Katie left after they argued to find clues about the former owner. She finds out clues and returns home to Iris. When Iris brings back her father, she doesn't find anything. Iris tries to burn the title deed, but it is impossible to burn it. When Katie returned home, she looked for Iris inside the basement, and she accidentally brought back the former owner. He tells her the story behind the creature and that she was a witch seeking revenge on a group of people. She is then attacked. When Iris hears Katie's call for help, she follows her voice and goes inside the forbidden hole, only to discover her friend is dead as the creature is tricking her. Iris is rescued by Neil. Neil gives her some drugs to help her sleep and promises to help her destroy this place. When she wakes up, she hears Neil's plan to kill her and get his wife back. He chases Iris down and kills her, only to discover it was not his wife who told him to do it, but rather the creature. In the end, the creature finally kills Neil and then escapes using Iris's body and burns the house. Did this story spook you out? Let us know in the comments below. For more horror movie recaps, subscribe to our channel and we will see you on the next one. Fear awaits you.